Hello, everyone. I am Parthivi, and I hope that you all are doing very well. What I wish to share today is my perception of the human of the present and how I think it would look like in the future if it were to continue at the present pace, and also if there is any change that we can account for. It gets somewhat philosophical, somewhat idealistic, but well, it is what it is. I really hope that you find something valuable in all that I have to share today. And yeah, here it is, the human of the future. Many years ago, on a beautiful meadow, came many men with a cow of their own to let them graze in peace, for there was enough for each one of them. One fine day, one man thought of taking two cows to the meadow, for he saw no harm for himself and profitable days in the future. However, this act drove all men towards providing for two cows now and aiming for profit, resulting in a tragedy for the beautiful meadow. This tragedy is famously known as the tragedy of commons. An act of self interest led to a future of scarce resources and disruption of the life sustaining nature. In retrospect, it was the future of those men. The tragedy of commons is no future of ours, it is the present. To predict anything about our future, one has to draw upon the experiences of the past and the state of the present. And when we take a look at the same, the future does not seem to be appealing. When the human takes a walk today, the ghost of capitalism looms over him. This ghost rides along, opening the gates of the millions of structures it proudly operates. It eats up the homes of humans while producing houses. It sails towards a future that generates an uncomfortable noise. The noise that leads to destruction and leaves no human but ashes around. If if one flips through the pages of newspaper or puts on their favorite news channel or simply scrolls through the millions of information providing pages on social media today, the future human would be of no surprise to such a human. For instance, one can envision the future human in a cafe to be sitting erect with an oxygen mask on, 10 devices surrounding him, having a conversation with Myra, an artificial human created to serve the needs and desires of the man who can't of a man who can't breathe fresh air, is overburdened, and well, on the brighter side, can go on a date at his own convenience. The man in the cafe signals the death of quality time and romance in future. The ghost engulfed the humanness of the man, leaving him devoid of concept of happiness and love. The ghost produced smoke and engulfed the quality air. The ghost crushed the body, leaving the ghost crushed the heart, leaving the body there. In the story of the present, the ghost won over the future of the humans. Well, what seems to be the sad ending is indeed a reality not far from us. However, there is light at the end of every dark tunnel. Similarly, there is hope that comes with every human tragedy. Our hope is what makes us human. It's hope that can help us fight the ghost of capitalism and destruction. The hope for a better future can serve as the guiding light towards a different and optimistic future. Well, I think it seems pretty obvious now that my vision for the future is the one filled with hope. Even though the human is locked inside the cage of capitalism, selfishness, and hatred, the key to the cage also lies with the human. The kind of human that feeds food to a dog, the one that goes on cleanliness drives and consciously believes in making the world a better place. The kind that is welcoming, considerate, compassionate, and loving. Our future is a product of the actions of each and every one of us. It belongs to all the children of the universe. Therefore, the story of the optimistic future cannot have one human working for all humans, but everyone working with and for each other in tandem with Mother Earth. The innumerable labels that keep us separated from each other and the sense of superiority that provides us with the power over one another need not be associated with the humans of the future. In contrast to this, the humans of the future need to be collectively responsible and accountable. In other words, we cannot expect humans of one ethnicity, gender, or nation to take the burden of ensuring a promising future for all of us. For example, in the case of climate damage, playing the blame game between developing and developed countries wouldn't provide anyone with a concrete solution. Rather, the realization that any global problem would require a global solution would determine the sustenance of humans and thereby a future. In a similar sense, the realization that continuous fighting and wars would lead to a victory with no one to celebrate it would would no one to celebrate it would perhaps establish peace between the humans of warring nations and contribute towards a harmonious future. If the humans of the present can instill the mentioned set of values and beliefs in them, then Mother Earth would be able to carry empathetic and kind humans of the future. Empathy allows an individual to see through the experiences of another individual. It permits the view of someone else's world. It pushes one to be compassionate and kind. This kindness and compassion facilitates an understanding of the world which is far beyond our selfish interests. It moves past the biases, the stereotypes, and the prejudices. It helps in breaking down prisons of discrimination and hatred. It helps us value our environment and understand the needs of the same. With hope in our hearts, it helps us fight the ghost of capitalism and guides us towards an optimistic future. It helps us undo the tragedy of commons. In conclusion, the state we are in would further push us into a state of misery, helplessness, and sadness. We would be at a distance from what being a human always meant for us. We would be deprived of our human essence and dwell in all things artificial. However, on the brighter side, the human in us is still able to dream and hope. It can be saved from a doomed future. The ability to dream of a peaceful, kinder, safer, and healthier world can push us to take actions that would help us turn this dream into a reality. Thereby, the humans of the future would be humans for all and humans in the best sense. They would be walking around, loving and celebrating each other. Thank you.